Hey everybody, I'm just checking the mic really quick and welcome. So far, it looks like there's me and someone else here, which is a-okay. But if you are here, please do me the favor of leaving a comment and just let me know, does the sound good? Can you hear me? Or is it terrible so that I can fix it and I don't go a bunch of time just rambling and nobody can hear me? Today is our weekly live stream meetup. I don't have a big agenda today. Mostly just wanted to drink some coffee and check in to see who is around and who's got stuff going on. Really starting to do some thinking about how to push through the end of 2020 and then look forward to 2021 because 2020 did not go at all like I was planning. So if you are here and you are live, jump on in the comments. Is the comments over there or over there? I can never tell from this. And let me know that you are here and what you are working on and all of the rest. I have to say that I have been slightly less active on YouTube in the past, I would say, month or so, because I've been spending a lot more time working on interviews for my podcast. And I have to tell you that I just enjoy doing those so much, but I'm a little worried that some of those interviews may not really fit the niche of YouTube, this channel and the audience that exists here, but I'm having so much fun like doing them that I really don't care. I'm excited because I have to run in an hour. I have a hard stop in an hour, and the person I'm getting to interview in an hour, his name is, I'm going to look over at my notes. His name is Dave Schneider, and he was one of the co-founders of Ninja Outreach, and he exited that SaaS product not too long ago, um, and I see Pete jumping on. He says, "Now, will people move away from the 10-hour income school live stream?" Um, Maybe not, Pete. I don't know, but hey, thanks for dropping in. Um, hey, Bo, what's going on? Yeah, no, I saw that Income School was going live or was live, and I was like, I go live every Wednesday at the same time, and if people have other stuff to do, they can catch it on the replay, or I can catch you next week. But now that I have you here, Pete, and I have you here, Bo, from Hawaii, of all places, and Bo, we have not caught up for a long time about your projects and all the rest. We talked a bit in the group when I, was experimenting with the group, but I would love to know how things have been going for you, because I remember we talked about accountability and goal setting, and I'm just wondering how that is going on. Kamal says, yeah, you were on the Income School live stream too. So what is going on over there on the live stream? Because I was doing other things this morning and actually trying to get ready for the interview I'm doing at 11 with Dave Schneider, formerly of Ninja Outreach. I'm excited to talk to him. But yeah, no, what is going on over there? Are they doing a giveaway of some kind? Like, is there some sort of massive, like, that we should all be over there? Should I just quit right now and go over there? mm, yeah, no. So I'm just really thrilled to be able to get to talk to really interesting, cool people. And I guess while I'm on the topic of podcasting, because I can, it's just such a really cool way to network. It's like people can go, like I could go out in the world and just walk up to a random stranger who I admire and say, please have coffee with me and just tell me everything that's inside of your brain. And they're like, whatever, I got stuff to do. And with podcasting, when people are going to go onto a podcast, all of a sudden they're like, yeah, I'd love to talk to you. It doesn't matter how many downloads you have. I want to be on your podcast. And so it's just a really great way to talk to people and pick the brains of people that would probably never otherwise have time to talk to you. So if anything, if people who are out there thinking of podcasting, that's just a really phenomenal way to talk to the people that you look up to and say, okay, this person is where I want to be and how do I get there? And I can't afford to buy their courses or to buy their products. But if I do have a podcast, even, you pay nothing to get it set up. Like seems to be a foot in the door to be able to talk to some really cool people. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it, and probably spending more time on it than I should, because it's not really returning a lot in the way of, dollars, like dollar signs, but it's just really fun, really cool. Over there in the chat, we see, oh, you know what, Mike, you are the best. Although, to be fair, you can go back and watch the income school stream whenever this is done. Kamal says they're doing a Q&A over there, and Pete says they're rotating through presenters asking questions. So are these like super hot, awesome presenters, like people that you couldn't get access to anywhere else, or are they people within income school? I'm really just curious about this. Nothing earth shattering. They're just chatting and answering questions. I think going live and being available to your students and to your followers and all the rest is a really great use of YouTube. And I think more people should do it. Bob, hey, Bob, what's going on? You made it to the live stream. I'm excited to have you. And I expect questions, lots of questions and updates, because that's why we're here. I see folks who are jumping in. Please let me know how you are doing, what you are working on, and I will own up to what I've been up to or what I have not been up to. Bo says he just surpassed 5K this month on my niche site and was interviewed on Doug's show the other day. Well, that is good to hear, and I'm going to go and check it out because I want to know how you're doing. And I think Doug does a pretty decent interview with folks, especially folks who are growing, and I like that he interviews people who haven't, I guess, call it like the make it, like the, killing it, but on the way, because I think that those types of interviews are just so much more relatable. Chris says, hey, what's up? And I say, Chris, welcome back, man. How's it going? Can't wait to hear about where you have been lately. Pete says they're missing or skipping over lots of questions, including mine. So how many people do they have on the stream? Do they have hundreds of people on the stream or thousands of people on the stream? Because I can barely manage like 30 of y'all. So thinking of it being 100 or 200, it would be nearly impossible for me to do just about anything. Oh, he says people from their channels, they have 11 channels on YouTube and doing it by buying all products to review, not something everyone can afford to do. No, that is definitely not true. And they have 450 people on the stream. Well, good for them. That's what I have to say, is good for them. Well, as usual, what we are doing here today mostly is just doing our check-in. And if people need support for anything or they want to talk about what they're working on, I was just talking about podcasting and how enthusiastic I am about podcasting and how it's, I guess, like keeping me in the game. Because it's something that's really stimulating and really interesting to me, because I think it can be really hard to just go back and hammer the same work every single day and then not feel like you're really hitting your goals or getting the progress that you want. So for me, that works. That helps me. Awesome work, Bo. Should hit 5K this month too. Chris, you just hit 3K per month. So you're going to hit 5K this month as well. And now I want to know where your course is at and when you are going to take students, because like this is the time now. Wow, 800. Okay, yeah. I can't imagine that they can even get close to fielding the questions that they must be getting with 800 people on a stream. I agree. 5K is sweet. And now we are all going to be after Chris for his secret sauce. Yeah, actually, is it, Bo, has the interview been released yet? I just assumed that when you said that you just did an interview with him, that it just went out. But if you mean that it's not out yet, and because I know Doug takes a couple of weeks usually after recording an interview to get it posted, but if it is there, let me know, and I'm happy to go and watch it. Because first of all, I'm curious to get to know you and to meet you, but also to see your interview. There is Wasim. What's going on? Hey, thanks for dropping in. Folks, if you are here and you are in the chat, let me know what you were working on, progress from the last week. Did you get anything done? Were you on vacation? And what are we going to try to get done this last week? I did a ton of interviews in the last week, and I have got none of them into post and none of them scheduled. Asim, we are just checking in. It's going to be a shorter live today because apparently Income School is doing some massive thing. No, that's not why we are going to go shorter today. I have an interview at 11 which is 50 minutes from now in Pacific Standard Time. And I'm really excited about it. It's with Dave Schneider, formerly of Ninja Outreach. And so I just have a hard stop. So yeah, no, today is not, it's mostly just the meetup today. And Asim, we would like to know how you are doing and how things are going. Let's see. Bo says, yep, the interview was posted 2 days ago. Well, there you go, folks. Bo's interview with Doug Cunnington is over on his channel, and you should go check it out. Mike says that he and his son, Bobby is your son, I think, started something we've been thinking about. We hired a VA who we've known for years. And so is this a brand new site from scratch? Are you willing to share any more details about what you are working on? I think it's great to see people feeling comfortable to outsource and to hire people to help, because that seems to be the thing that just about everybody who's really successful is doing, is hiring out. And so I'm just impressed and excited to hear more about the project. And as soon as you're willing to share anything else. Asim says he started a site in a new niche and curious to know your test site updates. Well, here's why, Asim, I haven't posted too much about the case study site, is because it got slaughtered in the May the 4th and then seemed to recover, not all the way, but a good portion of the way. And then I haven't been that thrilled about the EPMV on it, and not because Ezoic is doing something terrible to me, but because when my traffic recovered, right, the numbers, the posts reshuffled, and so the valuable ones that were earning them more money aren't getting as much traffic, and the ones that aren't as valuable are getting more traffic now. So the earnings have fallen by 30%. But you know what? We have to wait and see what happens throughout the rest of the year, because we're headed into Q4, and I can already say, and other people may be seeing this, but I'm starting to see ad rates go up in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and just seeing more money coming in. And I guess if you are here, Jesse, anybody else who is running ads, if anybody is seeing some bumps up in ad rates just across the board, it's across the board on all of my sites that I have ads on, are just earning sometimes maybe double what it was even 6 weeks ago. So I'm really curious to see how everybody else is doing. Okay, so Pinterest. All right, well, I'm excited to hear more about this project. Seriously, I think that's awesome. Bo, does he have a YouTube channel name? And then Asim says, dang, keep posting. That helps. That's another thing that I've been having a hard time getting to, because I've been spending so much time on the podcast, is that it's just been really hard to get over there and write content for it. I've really been spending the last month or so really thinking hard about the things that I'm doing that actually produce income, and trying to really focus my energies on those things. So I understand that the podcast doesn't produce a ton of income, but I think of it as an investment. But otherwise, I'm trying really hard to just really look at the sites that are making the most money and seeing if I can grow those. So I've kind of put the case study on the back burner a little bit. It's just things have been so volatile, and some of my other sites make me so much more money that I've been trying to invest more time, if I'm going to create content for them, over there. So I'm not planning on giving up on the case study, but I feel like I'm just going to let it ride for a bit and then get back to it. Yeah, the interview, Bo's interview, is on Doug Cunnington's channel, and all you have to do is look up Doug Cunnington. Asim said he saw a bump up on ad rates 2 weeks ago, like 2,000%, and then dropping again. Mine have bumped up, not 2,000%, but I have to wonder if it was on one site, or was it all of your sites, if you have any more, because sometimes like trending things or trending topics, you can see a real bump in ad rates on a particular topic. And you can see it if it falls right back down. Jesse says his RPM is up and traffic is down due to seasonality, so it's pretty much a wash when it comes to earnings. Yeah, I went and looked at traffic right before I came on the stream, and in the last 2 or 3 weeks, things have looked really stable, even though some folks have talked about there being some drama with Google, and I mean, maybe 1 or 2 blips, like 1 days here or there, but I haven't seen any major upturns or downticks because of anything, really. It's just been really almost flat, which kind of makes me happy. Chris says his ad rates are still steady, much better than March. And that's good, although generally in March things are bad. say like how much worse was March compared to normal. It's hard to say. Wasim says, this looks too technical for me. I haven't started a single website. Well, that is a good place to be. And this is actually not a bad place to be if you haven't started. There are a lot of people in here who have started recently, who have started in the last month, in the last year. And so I guess if you're in a position where you are brand new to this and just thinking about getting started, then this can be a good place to hang out. And, maybe things don't make sense yet. Maybe the things that people are talking about, like seem over your head. But what I would say is that this is a great place to be because the information here, one, is free, and you're surrounded by other people who are doing the same things that I think you want to do if you are here in the first place. So I just wouldn't if you think something sounds technical, just intimidate you. I would ask you just to stay in here and just be around all the people who are doing the things that you want to do, and to not get overwhelmed. I mean, after all, it's just time, right? This doesn't cost money, and we're not asking you for anything. And if you think that this community maybe knows what it's doing, which I think it does, then this is a good place to hang out. So Pete says his progress is 0 traffic and 1 new post. Now working on the next few. Holding on, though, hearing crickets is hard. And this is one of the tough parts about this. And I think it's one of the reasons why a lot of us like this type of strategy is that the first several months are really hard. And so the people who stick it out get rewarded because they get in there and stick it out. And the people who, I don't want to say tough, but the people who aren't stubborn will quit. And so it leaves less competition for us. So having a belief that Google will eventually notice is you just have to believe it. It might seem irrational, and it may not make any sense to continue to push through when you're getting absolutely no results whatsoever. But basically, that's what you have to do. You just have to, Pete. Sunshine says that, and I don't know if you're a male or female, so I'm just going to say, I assume Sunshine is a she, but my little AdSense site also saw an increase in ad revenue. Well, that's consistent with what I'm seeing right now. Asim says, is curious if you are getting any traffic from any other search engines like Bing, Yahoo, Baidu. Very little, truth be told. And I'm not sure exactly why that is. But for the most part, I don't get a ton of traffic from those. Now I go do and look, and in Ezoic, it's pretty cool. Actually, if you dig into the big data analytics, which is one of the reasons why I like Ezoic so much, is I can see the value of the visitors from the different search engines. And I wish that Google AdSense gave me that for some of my other sites that I can't get into Ezoic, because I can see that some of these old search engines like AOL, those customers are the most valuable to me. And I don't know if folks who are in the chat, if you are on Ezoic, have you ever gone into the big data analytics and which traffic source is the most valuable? I'm really curious, because some people would say, oh, surprising, it comes from Pinterest, or it would come from these other, Facebook or direct or whatever. I don't know necessarily how to get more traffic from the traffic sources that are the most valuable to me. Like, how do I get more people from AOL to come to my site? And it would be awesome if those traffic sources were some that I could manipulate on my own, but I don't know how to get more traffic from those other ones, even though they seem to be really valuable. So again, if you guys are on Ezoic and you can, or on another ad network, which traffic source is the most valuable for you? I'm really curious. So if you know the answer to that, please drop it in the chat. It seems a huge spike. After I get off of this stream, I'm going to go look, because I'm really curious now to see if I've got anything going on over there. Pete says, refusing to give up. That's the only mindset. There's no other option. Giving up is not an option. Push through. It's blind faith almost, but you have to. Back to Wasim. Bob says, ask questions, and I agree. If you don't know what we're talking about, then ask. Let's see. CubeWorks says, have you ever started a site where you just post a blog or two in the first couple of months and then start pouring blogs every other day for 2 or 3 months? For me, I have a hard, and other people do this where they will start a blog, just register the domain and put up a couple of posts and then let it sit to let it cure and get out of the sandbox. And I've never been one to do that, because usually if I have done the research for a niche, then I've also done the keyword research and I kind of know what articles I want to do and I'm enthusiastic about it. So I will write like crazy for it for a while until I burn out or I get tired of it. And that's when I will set it down. Now, there are some folks that would argue that, and I don't know if I agree with this, and I guess I'll crowdsource this also in the chat, but if you start a site and then do you need to post enough content to it to gain momentum so that Google, like it's a person, could see that this is a site that is growing consistently from the beginning with post after post after post without having like big, long dry spells? I mean, people argue that consistent new content for sites of any age makes difference. You think of a ramp up and a ramp up to get some momentum makes a difference. So for me, no, I don't. But other folks, I know other folks do this and have good luck. I just, because of my personality, that doesn't work for me because I get obsessive. Asim, you don't have to apologize. You can't get here every week. I mean, most people don't get here every week. It's cool with me. How is the YouTube grind and the content challenges on? I haven't been doing a content challenge mostly because I haven't been able to get there, and I don't want to do a challenge if I can't get there and be consistent about it. And I plus haven't gotten like a really consistent or solid response from a lot of people who really want to do one. Now, if there was between 5 and 10 people who said, we really want to do a content challenge like in September or October, or, looking ahead, maybe we'll say January, let's go back and hit content hard in January so that it can age and be ready to go for Q4 in 2021. I would be tempted to do that and to plan ahead. But until people are really excited about it, kind of like just going to keep doing what I am doing. As far as the YouTube grind, it's been kind of a mental challenge lately because I grew so much in the spring and then I hit the summer and then things just aren't growing as much. And I blame partially I blame I blame, like I can blame anything, but I think people are going back to work and it's also summer for a good portion of, well, half the world. And so a lot of folks aren't in front of their computers right now. I think in summer times for a lot of businesses, especially online, things don't always grow as much in the summer. But I've definitely not gaining subscribers as quickly as I was in the spring. And I think the pandemic was the result of that. And I think that I made some connections in the spring, and that was part of that. So for now, I'm just continuing to try to work on my library and also build skills. I really wanted to try to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm not sure I'm going to get there. But instead, I just want to keep working on my skills and not worry so much about the vanity metrics, even though the vanity metrics help me stay motivated. But it is a grind, and folks who are in it, not giving up, like we were talking earlier, giving up is not an option. And I'm just going to keep working on my library so that when people do find their way back to the channel, they're going to see lots of stuff in there that they will want to watch and stuff that is valuable. And then if I can get them to the channel and they subscribe, then great. And if they don't want to be here, then that's okay. That's fine. I don't want to try to get subscribers that don't want to be here. So Mike says, back to the topic of how valuable visitors are. He says that Bing searchers are buyers. Do you think that's because people who use Bing are older, or they just use other platforms, like they're more used to using Microsoft? Bo says Bing has been much easier to rank quickly. Recommendation is to sign up for Bing Webmaster Tools and submit sitemaps. I have done that, but I have not checked in over there for a long time, and maybe I should. That can also be a good place to get keyword ideas, because they will just give you an idea of what keywords that you rank for over there, and you can look at it, say, oh, I don't have a post about this, and try to get more stuff up based upon what is ranking over in Bing. Back to Cube's question. Chris is somebody who starts new domains and then puts up a couple of posts and then ignores them, and then we'll pick them up later once they're out of the sandbox. Yep, I get traffic on one of my sites. So again, I think back to Cube. KB Loves Karma is, how is your podcast growth going? How many downloads do you average per episode? So people look at either the first 30 days or the first 90 days. And so my whole podcast in general is only just over 90 days old. So how many downloads the episodes might get or will get, I'm slowly getting to the point where I can see like what they will get. But right now, I think my top episode has 50 downloads in the first 90 days. And how that works out for how good my podcast is. I was reading a statistic on some random podcasting site that said 50% of podcasts out there in the world, their new episodes will get like between 130 and 140 downloads. So I guess if I can get my new episodes to 130 to 140 downloads in the first 30 to 90 days, whatever that metric is, then I will be in the top 50% of the podcasts in the world, but I'm not there. I think I'm closing on 700 downloads in the first 90 days total. And I think most of those views are Niche Safari Chris, because I think he's the only one who goes to the podcast consistently. And I think he might listen to podcasts over and over and over again. Wasim says he's listening. Hey, come back every Wednesday. Some folks, you go on live streams and they won't answer beginners' questions. I'm happy to talk to you. That's one thing that's great about having a small stream, is I will do everything possible to try to get to questions. And if I don't know the answers, because there's a lot I don't know, I'll ask the chat and see what they have to say. Jesse said that he recently registered a domain, added one post and let it sit for a year, then added 60 posts. He saw no benefit from one post, and I'm still sitting in the sandbox after 5 months. Okay. So you'd say, so what we could take from that then is that it's not just the domain overall that would sit in the sandbox, but also potentially the posts. So brand new posts would also potentially sit and not be ranked, maybe because of the page authority question, links going to it, all the testing Google does and the rest. Pete says, I've seen repeatedly with income school examples that posting too little results in Google not noticing the site. Income school said today that posting every other week is too little. Well, I have that problem across all of my sites then. Sushi says, I like your new profile pic on the YouTube channel. Yeah, I got a recommendation from Sean Mars because I liked his little cartoony guys, and he gave me the name to his artist who did his, and I paid her, I think, $18 US to make my little icon person that I put in my YouTube channel art. And she was supposed to mail me the original, and that didn't come, and I don't know what happened there. But otherwise, I highly recommend her as and she was really easy to work with on Facebook. I just don't know what happened to my print. Maybe it got lost on its way from the UK. But yeah, no, thank you. I like it too. Let's see. Pete says, with the channel, and I assume that's internet marketing. I felt that once people start to return to work, they would no longer devote time to alternative strategies. As you said, thins the herd. That's right. And leaves more room for us. So all those folks, they can go back to work and leave the field open for us. Asim says, I guess part of the reason subs are not increasing is because of less videos, probably case studies, and trying new content, see the results. Yep. All great ideas. The nice thing that I have going is that my library is still getting a lot of YouTube search traffic. And so I do get new subscribers from the old stuff. The new stuff, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get out there. In the beginning, when I first started doing this, I was happy, like just sitting down and recording like a talking head video for 15 minutes and then just hitting publish without, editing it, without trying to make it any better. But now the 15-minute video basically takes me a whole day. And it's really hard for me to justify spending a whole day on a YouTube video now when I could get so much more done. And so that's probably the reason why. So yes, I can definitely accept and shoulder much of the blame. The thing that bothers me, though, is that my library as it was before, was pulling in more subscribers. So just the old library, the old videos that people were continuing to find, were pulling in a lot more subscribers, and so those views on those videos have fallen some. And you could say, oh well, maybe it has to do with the overall profile of my channel, maybe because I don't post as much, or maybe the type of content I'm posting maybe doesn't perform as well. Like the live streams, I don't think perform as well after the event, right? The people who come live to the live streams, they watch much of it. I get tons of watch time from it, but I don't think those get pumped in suggested videos, and they don't perform that well in search, probably because I don't try that hard to optimize them. I do this mostly so that I can hang out with everybody here. That's pretty much why I do it. Mike says 5 days to go. We have our biggest ever month with ClickBank. That is cool. And congratulations. I'm going to pat myself on the back for you. That's awesome. I love hearing people having success. And especially with ClickBank, because ClickBank can be so competitive. I agree, Wasim. You can learn it if you stick it out and hang out. Chris says that he is a podcast fanatic. Churning through Lion's Zeal at the moment. Daryl Rosser is the host. It has awesome advanced strategies for affiliate marketers. All right, well, take it from the podcast expert, Daryl Rosser. Let's see. What else? Pete's talking about there's a few things require being a tech whiz, and I will tell you that I am not. I definitely am not a technical wizard. And in the beginning, when you first get started, Wasim, it can seem very, very, very technical. But once you get in it, and once you get into the world, like the stuff we're talking about right now is just mostly a foreign language. It's not that it's difficult to learn. It's just you have to get into it and get used to using the language. And then once you do, I think you'll be okay. You just can't give up. Like you can't come in and spend 2 or 3 days and then expect it to just work. You have to actually put in the time and be prepared to do things wrong. And that I think is a thing that most people don't think about too much or aren't willing to accept, is that you'll make mistakes. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody here has probably started a site or 2 or 5 or 10 that didn't work, that they learned from and then just died and they started a new one. And I think we all do that. Chris says, I'm always looking for ClickBank stuff. The thing about ClickBank is, for me, I only feel really good about promoting products that I use. And I don't find a lot of stuff on ClickBank that I would buy or have bought or am willing to buy myself. And that is what makes it hard for me to really get excited about ClickBank. Now, if there was like a hobby that I was interested in and or I really needed to lose weight, there's so many like health and wellness products on ClickBank. But it's just, it's never been a good place for me to find an affiliate product, because again, I don't need that stuff. And so I don't promote stuff that I either haven't used or I don't use myself. Asim says, my YouTube channel will grow. I've heard from successful people that there is a sandbox too. It's more than 12 months. You know what? There is zero chance that I'm going to give up on YouTube. I am fully convinced and confident that YouTube could be a full-time income stream. And I believe that if I continue to put the work in, that it will get me there. I'm just putting it out there. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be 2021, but I think it's possible. And I'm going to continue to do that work. Bob says, has anybody used word agents for content? All right, crowdsourcing. If you are out there, have you used word agents? And if so, was the experience, what was it like? And if not, it would be actually good to know if everybody out there says never heard of them, never used them, because if there are brand new services out there or services that no one is using, sometimes that can be a flag. So again, I'll just put it out there. Has anybody used word agents? And if so, yes, what was your experience? And if not, just say never, nope, 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 nope. Renat says, before I had 20 plus sites and all were failing. Now I have 2 sites and both are a big success. I think that is a great point. It can be really hard to manage multiple sites and spread yourself really thin. And I am totally guilty of that. And I've been working this year to to pare down what I'm working on so that I have, I guess, a more likelihood of being able to invest what I need in both time and money to make those successful. In the beginning, Mike says we found a ClickBank product and built a niche around it and built a site around it. And I think that is genius. And I think that most people go around building a site backwards compared to that. So they will maybe choose the niche, or they will choose the domain, or they will decide I want to write about A, B, C, or D, and then they will go looking for an affiliate product. And I just think that people would be so better off once they have a little bit of experience picking the product and say, okay, I could promote this. Here's how I will promote it, and then build a site around it the other direction. Pete says Skillshare progress, and I am thinking about doing a whole video about Skillshare because I've had some bumps and bruises. Let's see, I got a message held for review from Passive Income Lecturers. If you are interested in passive income, follow our channel. I'm just going to show it. Folks, if you are interested in passive income builders and you want to follow their channel, then you are welcome to. No, Skillshare. I've had some bumps and bruises over there lately, but I'm going to have the best month in August that I ever have. And it's just a little more than July and a little more than June. And I'm building towards doing a pretty major Skillshare update video. I just want to build it to something where I'm like, I have something exciting to report about word agents. Chris says he's never heard of them. Hey, Jay, what's going on? He says that word agents were great, but he switched to a cheaper option. Sushi's never used word agents. He says the owner of word agents was on the Niche Pursuits podcast. If folks don't know what Bob is talking about, that's Spencer Hawes's podcast. And so you're asking because you're thinking about using them, or was there something in the podcast that made you think, maybe I wouldn't want to use them? I'm curious. Bo says, unfamiliar with Word Agent, got all my writers on Upwork, has worked really well. Let's see. Pete is talking to Renat. Sunshine says that she set up a second site to secure the name. It has a few educational posts and a few blog posts, pretty much left it, but surprised to pick up a few high domain backlinks. Very interesting. And I guess that could be another reason to get your site set up and get something of value on it in the event that you can catch some decent backlinks. Yeah, no, Jay, no worries about apologizing. It's great to see you. Great to talk to you. I think a lot of people were over on the Income School live stream, and people were late jumping on. I'm like, I'm here to drink coffee. We don't have a major agenda today. Last week, we did a lot of work last week, and so this week is just coffee. Pete and Renat are talking. He said, I first merged 12 of those sites together. Okay. So when you do that, you're definitely keeping the domain, right, Renat? So you keep the domain even though you move the content over. And then are you doing a redirect from those posts over to the one site? It says, I merged 12 of those sites together and into one site, and then all content got a 300 plus percentage more traffic within 2 months. So I'm assuming that you kept all of those domains. So you pay for them in every given month, and they're in your Namecheap account, and then you do a permanent redirect. So one of the things I've always wondered about this, because I don't do a lot of buying domains and then doing a redirect, where do you do the redirect? Are you doing it at like the domain and host level, or do you actually have WordPress installed and you're doing it there? I actually don't know technically what people do in order to do a 301 redirect. And if you could just share, like dump some technical gold on me, Renat, that would make me happy. Bob says he's thinking of using them, and that Word Agent's content was good for him personally. Renat, I'm waiting for Renat to drop some gold on me. Yep, and now Renat has an authority site rather than multiple separate niche sites. You know, it seemed like it was the way to do it for several years, just to have lots of different small sites. But now I think there's becoming, less of incentive to have lots of small different sites when you can do plenty now with one gigantic master site. I also will throw it out there, and I want to try to do this on Wednesdays, every Wednesday when we're here, is that if folks who have something they want to sell or they want to buy, just to drop that in the chat to say, hey guys, I have a site to sell, or hey folks, I'm looking to buy, so that we can just know who is out there, and that we can try to connect up those people so that they can talk obviously offline. I just think that's another good use of this community, is to try to connect up people that want to make deals. Hopefully, I mean, I can't like speak for them or vouch for them whether or not they're secure and trustworthy, but this could just be another place where people could try to gain some value from here. Renat says he keep the domains and I do a redirect with an Apache HT access file. Yeah, that goes wow right over my head. Wow. Pete says the redirection plugin allows you to set up redirects manually. It also automatically permalink changes to post. I use the redirect plugin for the redirection plugin on my sites just to clean up old links. I just didn't know that you could use it for like the whole site. I was thinking, okay, if you have the domain and you're hosting it somewhere, do you have, I assume you have to host it somewhere, or do you? And then, because if you have the domain and you want to direct the whole site somewhere else, then using that plugin, it seems like you would have to have it registered for hosting. I don't know. If somebody knows more about this, then I'm happy to let them do it. Or maybe I should actually do some investigating and learn this, is what I think this is highlighting. Don't come for me. Don't come to me for technical advice about 301 directs, basically, is what I think we've discovered right now. Bob says that he is looking for a large site with 100% seller financing. That might be hard to find, but he's just putting it out there. And I kind of smile saying, okay, like seriously, Bob, you're looking for 100% seller financing? Because if you're serious, I'm wondering what would motivate them to finance it, like to carry the entire loan or to carry the balance of the payments. Basically, just be a straight earnout. And I don't know what would be their motivation for it. He says, LOL. Okay, you're joking. Because I saw that and I was like, really? Really? Jay says, I think we've talked about trying to outrank TripAdvisor pages in the past, and I didn't have a good answer for this. So folks who are out there and you're seeing this, does anyone have experience outranking TripAdvisor pages? It's user-created content in the end, but somehow I find it way more easier to outrank Quora or the forums. Just curious. I don't have personal experience with it, but if other folks do, then throw it in the comments and let us know. Bo said, dude, okay, not just dude, but dude, just took a look at word agents. It's crazy expensive. So how much is it per word? Because he says that he pays 2 to 3 cents per word for awesome US writers off of Upwork. Wasim says that he is a structural engineer and always wanted to build websites for structural engineering related stuff. I think I'm ready now. And I think that is awesome. The thing that I would think about, Wasim, is what you are building it for. So if you are building it for to earn money, to do some research about how it is that you would monetize that site. Now, if you're building it for it's your hobby because you love it and enjoy it, and you're not going to worry about trying to make money off it, that is fine. That is awesome. But if you are planning on building a site with the expectation that you will earn money from it, just thinking about how it is that you would monetize it. Would you put ads on the site, and what could you expect to earn from it? And just doing some investigating about how you would earn from it if that were the case. I mean, maybe there are affiliate products that you could talk about in addition to your structural engineering related stuff, but knowing your monetization strategy and plan will help you, plan out posts and to pick a domain and just get an idea of what you plan to do with it. So I guess that would be my only advice. But I think I'm excited for you. I'm really excited for you. Denise says, what interest rate are you willing to pay? Let's see. Pete says, well, you would have to continue hosting the site, but it could be a 301 redirect per post or page. It wouldn't automatically do the whole site redirection. Redirection HT access at a root level server file for Apache. Yeah, I was thinking about that, like the whole site versus just doing page level redirect. I mean, if you're moving the content over to the new site, and you're going to want to do it page on. But if people were buying just a domain without wanting to do the recreation of the post and all the rest to send it over, I'm just curious about that, how people do that in general. Or going back to Bob, how much do you need? My checkbook is. Bob hasn't bought content yet, even though I try to talk to Bob basically on the daily about encouraging him to start outsourcing his posts. The thing about Bob is that his content is really good, and I can see why it's hard for Bob to want to outsource that, because I don't think that he will be able to find. Well, maybe he could, but I don't think he would be able to find the quality of stuff he's putting up at 1 to 2 to 3 cents a word, unless he got really lucky, which I guess he could. But I understand why you don't outsource, Bob. Let's see. So Renat says you can now get a 1,000 word article from Word Agents for free. Normally they ask $120 for it. Are they running some kind of special of some kind to try to get people in? 100. So that's what, 12 cents a word? That's a lot. That is a lot. And I think that you could almost be hiring somebody with a lot of technical expertise for that price. Well, folks, it's 10:46, which means that I'm going to have to wrap this up pretty soon, because I have that interview with Dave Schneider at 11 and 15 minutes. Pete says, I don't know a full site redirection to match post URL to new domain post is possible, other than via HT access, where it can use pattern matching to replace the domain name. Yeah, that is just so like, whew, like it's just like, whoa, like so far over my head. But I am committing to trying to learn more about it. Renat says, if you do a permanent redirect for 180 days, Google will consider it forever. After that, you can delete your old domains, but I don't take risks and keep them. Okay. Well, that is good to know. And I want to thank you, because I just learned something today. Hey, Matt, you got here just in time to say hi when we were getting ready to log off here in a few minutes, because I have an interview at 11. I am definitely willing to hang on for a couple of minutes just for you, because I do want to check in with you and see how things are going for you in the last week. Yeah, what's going on with you? Thanks for dropping in. Other people are jumping off because they want to get back to the income school stream. Oh, hey, folks, before you go, make sure you smash the like button so we can let Google know that this is a good, this was a good stream. And thanks for jumping on too, by the way, Chris and Bob and Asim and Renat and Wasim and Mike and Bo. It's just, and Denise and Sushi and Sunshine. And Kamal. It's been great to talk to everybody. I really enjoy it. Jay, liked as always. Thank you. And then there's somebody who hit the thumbs down. There's always got to be one. Take it easy, Mike. Thanks for dropping in. As always, Jay, Matt says, I'm doing. Yes. Let's catch up on Messenger. I'll send you a DM when we get out of here. See you later, Bob. All right, guys.